Dmacc here at Chronicles Media, man. What's going on with you?
What's up with you, man?
Man, this is the behind the scenes stuff, all the hard work that the CEO, producer of Dungeonmusic does that people really don't tap into, huh?
Man, I'm just trying to stay focused, man, and keep excelling. That's it, really. That's it.
Hey, what's going on, world? This is K Williams for Chronicles Media, here with Davyhon, aka Dmacc to most. He is the CEO and producer of Dungeonmusic, who is having an exceptional year in music. 2022 continues to look promising as we have heard the Dungeonmusic stamp of production on some of our favorite artists today. Impress Me remix, Airplane James featuring Bino Rudo, Get Like Me by Sham 216 featuring Griff Tyler, Welcome Back, made it live by Kenai, which is an integral part of Dungeonmusic as well. Shout out to Kenai. And Don't Fall in Love by Savi Third featuring Don Kennedy. We're here to talk and unpack it all. Dmacc, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing well, man. So you come back to the home base of Chronicles Media here at the Golden Impala, right?
Yeah.
So what's been the typical day in the life of Dmacc lately as a CEO of Dungeonmusic, as a producer, Dmacc as a man? Like, what's some updates?
Really, it's just been still working and like staying true to that. Like, the more I feel like you do things and it gets noticed, it's like more people start tapping in and they want a certain thing from you, and it's like you can't continue to give that though unless you stay working. Like, it's very easy to get caught up in whatever else, you know what I mean, and not work. But I just try to keep my head down and work. So that's all I'm doing. Monday through Friday, I'm working.
Staying consistent?
Yeah.
Man, so what has been more of a focus lately in terms of you being a producer and the CEO of Dungeonmusic? Some of like the main focuses from both, I guess, perspectives and job duties and titles, if you will?
I mean, it's like you're trying to maintain what's kind of blossomed, you know what I mean? So it's like answering phone calls, emails, whatever the case may be, like, and just trying to, present yourself in a professional way, you know what I mean? So, like, that's really, like, where my head is at, and just like I said, continue to put out the music, because it all started with that first. Like, without the music, don't nothing else come, like, don't nothing else happen. Don't nobody call you if they don't like the music, you know what I mean? So, like, the music is where it starts and ends, so yeah, I'm locked in on that. That's the bread right there.
Why is the business acumen of the producing game so important to you?
Because it's very easy just to like put out music and don't nothing happen with it. Like, we see that happen a lot of times, and it's like, if this is something you want to make it like your regular job, you know what I'm saying, you got to be serious about it, like, for real, man. That comes with handling your business, showing up on time to this and that, just making people want to take you serious as you take yourself, you know what I mean? So,
really, branding important for Dungeonmusic?
Branding, yeah. You only got one time to introduce yourself to people, and it's like, if you do it right the first time, then it kind of like you already giving yourself a head start, you know what I mean? So that was the big thing for me, and Kenai. Like, with the first tape we put out, Back to the Basics, it was just about like putting our best foot forward and being seen the first time the right time. The right way, the first time the right way.
Yeah. Cause you been moving patiently, gracefully. Gotta keep all your faith in Jesus. You done lost all your faith in me, faith in me. Yeah. Out with my niggas till 4 a.m.
So let's talk about Kenai and the whole Dungeonmusic brand and Dmacc as a producer. Our last interview was roughly, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And that was around the time that you guys debuted Back to the Basic on Dungeonmusic.
Yeah.
So how's the chemistry been with Kenai since then? And shout out to Kenai, who's actually half part of Dungeonmusic. How's the chemistry still going with you guys musically and professionally?
It's still the same way. Ain't nothing really too much changed about that. We just put out another song called Stay like a week ago, and it's doing good. So we kind of took a break, which I feel is needed, because you work so much and just like sometimes you just need to step away and just like, you know, let the air breathe. And when you come back, you got fresh ideas, new energy. So everything's still good though. I just talked to him like a minute ago. So yeah, we good.
He got a show coming up, what, next week?
Nah,
next
Sunday.
Sunday.
That's 4th of July weekend. Yeah, and that shout out to Jason Cash. That kind of happened through that way. And that's actually what we was talking about. You know, hit me like, yeah, like, boom, boom, boom. I'm about to perform, open. I'm like, bet. So yeah, it's gonna be a little nice. That's a nice little live right there. So
absolutely. Shout out to Jason Cash, who's been making airways and making noise on the LA streets, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man,
so yeah, it's cool
for sure. So let's take it back to the basics, man, because we have to kind of. I like to chronicle my interviews. Like you came 2 years ago. Take it back right now to back to the basics. So, and you dropped back to the basics. You and Keen and I dropped it in the early stages of the pandemic. Do you feel that the tape reached its highest potential?
I mean, I would say yeah, and I say that because prior to that, we didn't really have no fan base technically that we were, you know, putting music out to. So with that project, that allowed us to capture a fan base really. And from there, it was just trying to run with it and then like just grow that, you know what I mean? So I say, yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. I mean, you know, it gave us an opportunity that we always wanted. So yeah.
How have you grown musically since then, like sonically? What have you tweaked? What have you changed? What have you actually taken out?
Man, funny enough, like around that time, I feel like we kind of still was like figuring out, I mean, we still are, but we were really figuring ourselves out, and especially with the music and the sound. And that kind of just happened. I mean, it was intentional, but still it was like early stages of us like, okay, this is our sound, or okay, whatever that was, you know what I'm saying? And it's like things we've been doing, which like was kind of like that West Coast vibe. But like I said earlier, like it's kind of like an old West Coast vibe, but like with a new type of sound. That's kind of how I would explain it. And that just come from just sticking with it and really defining that. Like, okay, this is what we do and this is what we like. And like, let's define that. Like, let's really do that intentionally. So that kind of was like, we learned that from Back to the Basics.
So leading up into 2022, do you feel as though Dungeonmusic has, in fact, a signature sound?
I think I would say, yeah, it does. Like, it's to the point now where people will literally hit us up or hit me up like, here, I want you to do this and add your DM sound, like, and they want like the hard, heavy bass, they want like knocking drums, like, so obviously that's the sound that they hear and that they want, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's a signature sound, I would say, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's dope to me, because it's like, we not copying nobody, like, can't nobody say they sound like this, and I never wanted to be that way. Like, I'm not like that as a person, so.
Authentic, genuine?
Yeah, like, originality, like, that's what it's about, you know what I mean?
And that's even leading up into 2022 currently, and you know, when I looked at your catalog, I was like, wow, like Dmacc has been having, and Dungeonmusic has been having a really consistent year, especially around LA, working with local LA talents, Airplane James, Dom Kennedy, Savi Third out of Long Beach. So has it been a personal spark within yourself to continue to grind?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that comes with, like, when you see results, you want to see more. And it's like, so if I did this, what else can I do? You know what I mean? If I keep my head down, like, how much further can you get? You know what I mean? And like, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, so yeah, I would say it was a spark.
Baby. Presidential faces for all the times I made you frown. This time I make you smile. This time I make you proud. Pull up, top down for all the times I had you down. This time I stay focused on the time I have you now.
Let's talk about chemistry. We talk about sparks. We're talking about everything that ignites, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that's pretty much combustible. So what was the chemistry like working with Griff Tyler? Is he a new artist that you're working with? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I met Griff. I don't even remember exactly how I first met Griff, but we just had a studio session for the song that's coming out Friday, Faith in Me, and that was our first time actually in the studio creating a song, and it was dope. Like, I had a little input. He listened. He had input. I listened, and we just kind of like formed it. So we went back and forth till we got like a product that we like. And he a good dude. We got good energy. We just came in and got to work, and that's what I like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really like playing around in my sessions. Like let's do what we here to do, and you know we can have fun, but like let's get the job done. And he was all about that. So yeah, I like it was cool working with him. I don't think we gonna do like a whole project or nothing like that, but I have songs with him too. Besides that one, like on his project. So he dope.
So we have an artist by the name of Airplane James out of the east side of LA.
Yeah.
And I mean, you work with him, you know, very close knit. You've actually had multiple songs on his projects, right?
Yeah.
What about working with Airplane James? And shout out to Airplane James.
Yeah.
What about him makes you a better producer?
I think with him it's like so his producer TC is, you know, involved in what they do, his main producer. And so like TC will hit me, like he might have a sample, for example, Silly Me. That was like one of a song that was popping on his last project, or Nunu, for example, too. Like basically he just came with the samples and was just like, add you to this. And that's what the songs was. And it's like, that's kind of how I would say it probably brings out another side of me with working with them, is because maybe a sample that I necessarily wouldn't have made or touched, I do that with them, and it's like, okay, I like this though, you know what I mean? So it's like, then I just get to have fun with it, and those songs come out right.
Do you think that so when samples grow on you, do you think they grow on you after you actually hear lyrics behind the samples?
Nah, I could just hear something and I'd be like, oh, I know if I like it or not. But then there is times too when like I can hear the lyrics with the song. Like for example, like a couple weeks ago, he sent me a song, Airplane. It was just his vocals in the loop, and then I added the drums around that. So that was cool too, because like it helped me in terms of like I didn't have to overproduce. It was like now I know all the pockets, I know everything, so now I can just play around that. And it makes it easier, like, instead of just guessing sometimes or just doing what you want to do. Like, it's more catered to the artist that way, you know. So,
do you figure that when artists do that, is that more beneficial to you? As far as time-wise, you're able to get the beat out faster?
Yeah. But sometimes I don't like it, too, because, well, depending on if I have all the stems or not. Because then I can manipulate it more. Sometimes if they just seem like a 2-track and you add to that and send the files back, you can't really manipulate it as much as you would want. And then I don't like that. Like sometimes, because it's like certain things, like little things, it's like sometimes I might want to delay something a little bit more than it is. And it's like I can't if it's a 2-track, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's cool though.
There's a compromise.
Yeah, it's a compromise.
Let's continue to talk about chemistry. Don't Fall in Love by Savi Third featuring West Coast legend, Dom Kennedy. It's a West Coast banger, man. Yeah. Walk us through the creative process when you were cooking up that beat.
Man, I actually made that beat like probably like 2 years ago. That's actually an older beat, and but I had gave it to Dom, and like I think he might have made the hook first, and I think he had a session with like Savi Third and might have played it or whatever case may be, and that's kind of how the song came about. But it was just I love the beat though to this day, and it's crazy though, like good music stand the test of time, right? So it's like if I would have never said it, nobody would have probably ever thought that beat was like 2 or 3 years old, but that beat is like 2 or 3 years
classic.
Old. Yeah, you know. So
the drum patterns, the slap.
Yeah.
You mastered that.
Thank you.
You sick and tired of the made up stories, so you no longer lay up for me, stay up for me, wait up for me. Instead, you just send a prayer for me.
So who tutelage have you gone up under as far as producing? Who are some of the greats, West Coast greats that Dmacc, besides Battle Cat? Shout out to Battle Cat, because I know you're a huge Battle Cat fan.
Yeah, I do. I like him a lot. Man, obviously I like DJ Quick. I think he's a dope producer. I mean, a great artist, but I think he's a dope producer too, though. Like, I've been listening to a lot of DJ Quick a lot lately too, and I'm like, dang, it's a lot of songs that he did that I don't even think he get credit for, like, producer wise. That's like hard though, like, so and he really got like a West Coast sound too, like to his
Absolutely.
music. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's kind of like sometimes he don't get mentioned enough. But yeah, I love him. Fred Rett. It's crazy too, cause I was listening to these streets being crazy with Nate Dogg, and
Okay.
man, for the longest time I thought Battle Cat had produced that song, and then I found out like nah, it wasn't, and I'm like dang. So after that,
That's off the Blue Carpet Treatment.
Yeah,
2006. Yeah.
and I'm like, I was a kid though, like, but like, it's just crazy how like as time goes on, you learn different things. But it's like still, he had that sound. I'm like, dang, he kind of slept on too, like. So yeah, them kind of like two though that I kind of been messing with lately.
Old school producers, man.
Yeah,
and
don't really be exactly like that's what I'm saying. Like, but to me, and like, so I do music that I genuinely like and that make me feel a certain way. And like those type of songs, like the DJ Quick and all that, like I think about my uncle when I hear stuff like that. Like I was a kid coming outside, like I hear him playing this in his car, like, you know, watching his car or whatever, like, or just the stuff that always made me knock my head when I was a kid. Like it was always
a certain slap to it, huh?
Yeah,
like
it
this sound different.
Always like,
and then Quick threw the jazz behind it too. The jazz element, you like wow.
Exactly, he a real instrumentalist. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real guitar, real piano, like, and that's to me, that's what I like about what I do. I'm like, it's real music behind it. Obviously, sometimes it might be like a little 8-bar loop, whatever, but it don't just sound like repetitive, like it, or even if it is repetitive, it don't sound computerized. You know what I mean? Like it still feels real.
It's organic.
Yeah, exactly.
Not manufactured.
Exactly.
Shout out to all the West Coast legends, man. I love to get your spill on who you like, because then I can see that's a reflection in the music that you actually produced today, man. So let's talk about moving forward, man. So what's up next for Dmacc as a producer and CEO of Dungeonmusic? What's next up?
Yeah, so I'm dropping a project that I did like a few years ago. I think it might have been 2018, 2019, but it's called Summertime with Friends. That was the original, and so I'm gonna do Summertime with Friends too, and it's gonna come out soon. And so that's the next thing. As like producer wise, business wise, I feel like I've been saying, just keep pushing the narrative. Like try to stay in people's faces. Like, you know, push Dungeonmusic as much as possible, but do it with great stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like don't just be thirsty, like doing stuff just to do it. Like be intentional, but just still effective too, though, you know. So yeah, that's what I want to do, like as far as company wise or brand wise.
So in 2022, we have 6 months left, right?
Yeah, man, time is moving.
How do you plan on taking Dungeonmusic to the next level?
Just keep pushing, stay at it, stay consistent with working, and like just never forget that. Like if you keep your head down and keep working, I feel like great things will come. You know, they'll happen. Like don't get caught up in, you know, somebody know what you did or this. Is like you still gotta keep working. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't keep living off of what you did 3 weeks ago. Like, you know what I mean? So like what's new? Everybody wanna know what's next, what's this. So you gotta, you know, keep your foot on the gas.
K1 is for Chronicles Media, CEO Davyhon, aka Dmacc for Dungeonmusic. Shout out to Kenai.
Yeah.
And we out.
Yeah.